take garbage and make it shine. This whole project is asinine. Waste some time with me, I can guarantee this old junk will soon toe the line.
We polishing turds, mediocrity curd. I can't find the words, this song is absurd. We're polishing turds, we're polishing turds.
Alright, let's talk about the oiling system a little bit on this thing. We're going to use a Melling M55 high volume oil pump. Pretty standard deal. It's nothing special. We could definitely probably find a few horsepower by using some trick, low pressure, whatever deal. I'm not interested in doing that. This thing's going to be bracket raced. I just want a lot of oil and stuff, you know. So these are pretty common. And the pickup bolts on, and this pan, pretty standard deal. A little bit of capacity down here. The other one I think got damaged when they were pulling it out of the car. Now this one's actually got a built-in little expanded metal windage tray too, which I like. So anyhow, we'll put that stuff on and we'll be ready to put the heads on. All right, then we got our pan on here. Look at that thing. Sweet unit. Check to make sure we got clearance here. I use a piece of clay on top of the pickup just to make sure. Usually with this Moroso, I like Moroso pans. They're really nice. I've never had one yet that didn't fit. And the clearance is good on this dude. I gotta put the balancer on. Check our pointer, it's adjustable. We'll degree it in the exact same way that we did the degree wheel. We find top dead center so that we know that our pointer is accurate when we go to set the timing on this thing. And now it's time to put on these sweet Chinese units. Oh yeah, look at that. So we've done some gain of function research on these things, and now they are Wuhan super spreaders. That's what they are. And they're about to super spread some oxygen and gasoline and whatnot into the cylinders here, and hopefully we'll get a bunch more power out of this thing. Quick recap on these things. Are 205 intake valves. We went up just a little bit from 202s to get really just to fix the valve job. Anytime you put a slightly bigger valve in, you can make that a little better. The 1.6s are the ones that were in there. We got a 55-degree angle on the seat on the 1.6s on the exhaust. Springs here are pack 1243s and new pack retainers and spring locators. Tie retainers, kind of, you know, this type of light retainer is kind of a mandatory deal on something solid roller. And we use a lot of pack stuff when you can get it. But anyhow, let's bolt these dudes on and we'll be one step closer to wrapping this thing up.
extreme pressure lube. Exactly 1, 2. I tore the beds down.
All right, extreme pressure lube, exactly 1, 2. So anyhow, it's time to put our intake on or get it ready. We've got a brand new Edelbrock Super Victor. Part number is 2925 if you're interested. Just a standard intake. You've seen these on a million motors. And what I do is I use the intake gasket and the intake to kind of mock things up and see where we need to go to get the port matched up to the head. There's kind of a fine art in doing this. It takes a little practice, but you kind of mock things up and look down the port and see where things are at, and then you can take the intake off, take the intake gasket and kind of transfer the image there and see where you need to go. And in this case, we need to raise the roof just a little bit, narrow the divider just a little bit, and that's about it. And the port here is actually considerably wider than our port. If I had to do that again, I might widen it it may help it a little bit. Probably not, but it might be worth experimenting with down the road. For now, we're not going to mess with it. We're going to just do what we need to, make sure we're not covering stuff up that we've opened up. We'll get that done. We'll bolt this on, and then we'll talk about push rods. All right, next up we got to get our valve train buttoned up, and this is pretty simple. This is a pretty conventional setup for small block Chevrolet. These push rods are 80 wall. Wanted to get heavier, not available. The rockers we're using are the Comp Extreme Series stainless steel ones. I've used a bunch of these and had really good success with them, never had any problems. They're very rigid, and in a valve train, that's something that's desirable. That's what you're looking for. I'm not using a stud girdle one because I don't think they'll go under the valve covers, and the other thing is with these heads, I don't know exactly how who knows what these heads are, so I don't know exactly if the valve spacing is exactly like it should be, and sometimes you can run into trouble with that. So I'm just kind of avoiding it for now. If we have to later on, we'll put something on, but for right now we're not. Over here you can see we got adjustable guide plates. That allows us to slide things back and forth to get the rocker lined up correctly over the valve tip, get things in kind of the best situation we can. So now what we're going to do is put these push rods in, kind of adjust things where they need to be, and then torque the studs down where they're hopefully in the right place. We're going to put a lubricant on the exhaust side here, extreme pressure lube, of course, and then on the intake side, I put a little bit of sealant on the threads because the intake stud hole there goes into the port. We don't want oil or anything running in the port and smoking, so we're going to seal that up on the thread portion here. A little bit of lube under here, then we'll be good to go. Hopefully after that we can put our valve covers on. All right, there's one last step. Polishing this turd, we got to get right. And it's right here. And it's a crucial step. It's a very important part. It's not gonna, the mix isn't going to be right if you don't have this. I don't believe anyhow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Just look at it. That is a polished turd. That is a polished turd right there. All right, the time has come. The Wuhan Super Spreader is pretty much done, at least to this point. So the next step here is to get back on the engine dyno and see if we've successfully polished this turd or not. So that'll be coming up the next week or two. I'm gonna get back on the pump. We'll see what this thing does. If you like what you've been seeing here in this series, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, like, all that jazz. Also, in the comments, let me know what you think this thing will make. If I remember right, we made this. It made 360 in its earlier iteration. So what do you think it's going to make on same dyno, engine dyno, exact same dyno? What's it going to make now? Let me know below what you think. I don't have any t-shirts made for this site or this deal yet, but maybe I'll get some made at some point, and maybe whoever gets closest to it gets a free shirt or something whenever that happens. So anyhow, let me know what you think is going to happen. Week or two, we'll know the results.
I can't find the words. This song is absurd.